Yeah, falling on your new cut hair. And this time it isn't fair. Why don't you come on down and lay it on me? Love where all abused. So don't spend all the day in your bed getting stuck up with them thoughts all in your head. Cause you got those raindrops, yeah, falling on your new cut hair. And this time it isn't fair. Why don't you come on down and lay it on me? Oh yeah. Cause you got those raindrops, yeah, falling on your new cut hair. This time it isn't fair. Why don't you come on down and lay it on me? And you got those raindrops, yeah, falling on your new cut hair. This time it isn't fair. Why don't you come on down and lay it on me? Cause that's the way you always want me to be. With a father took his son out to the levee and break his stand. Water for your mother's bone. For you got to run, or else she's got to come. You better go home. With a coyote howl and a bear's growl. When the winter night did come, and the moon fell out of the winter sky, boy, it crashed into the sun. Singing like da da da. da 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 da. Came out of his house below. He said, time for you to make it to me, for I'm the one who's come undone. Now boy, you can't see. And he came alive, boy, he took it down, went into the sea. Where she's got to go, and boy, you got to know where she's got to go to sleep. Well, in the gardens of the ponderosa pines, oh, in the gardens of the ponderosa pines, we'll drink this night or till that moon till she turns the light. I said, I hear that spirit in the stomp of my stare, hear the spirit in the stomp of my stare. I drink to forget you, babe. We got us a bottle of whiskey. Oh, we got us a bottle of whiskey that we gonna drink oh till that moon till she turns the light. I said, hear that spirit in the stomp of my step, hear the spirit in the stomp of my step. I drank to forget you, babe. Of these deep and desolate trees, I say now, hear that spirit in the stomp of my step, hear the spirit in the stomp of my step. I drank to forget you, baby. We got us a bottle of whiskey, oh, we got us a bottle of whiskey that we gonna drink oh till that moon till she turns the light. I said, hear that spirit in the stomp of my step, hear the spirit in the stomp of my step. I drink to forget you, babe. Oh, but it ain't working.
Children standing cold bare feet in the middle of the street in the big city of London. The grown-ups drag, they do not stop, for the children never talk of their despair, of their despair. Used to have to be taught, why act like you care when you're never even there? To see us grow up, to see us grow up. Why act like you care when you're never even there? To see us grow up, to see us grow up. We make our dreams on shooting stars, but You make yours with green dollars and ours never come true. You hold us down and sit us straight, tape our eyes and make our fate, but we won't cry. No, we don't cry. Why act like you care when you're never even there to see us grow up, to see us grow up? Why act like you care when you're never even there to see us grow up, to see us grow up? What do you think that we are? A dirty tissue used just once. Why can't you see you are wrong? For once in your life, just think about others. What can we do to stay strong? Maybe if you heard our pleading, we could be free. Why act like you care when you're never even there to see us grow up, to see us grow up? Why act like you care when you're never even there to see us grow up, to see us grow up? So that the children standing in the streets, can't you hear above your pleas? You're not alone. You're not alone, yeah.
Like a riverbed lost, its canal the drought. I recede famished from the underworld, a blacked alpha. Ray, looking up, break me down, bloody. I haven't been a stranger to myself, only slave to what summons loud enough to give me something to be drained of, and my heart sheds its skin to avoid unheard by God, delirious like theirs. Just something very holy about emptiness. Like I disowned this body raw, and the dusk fell, bleeding my breath. Exudes itself and spews along in unseized mourning phases of grief seem more like an endless torture, where this death isn't even offered, and my dance is a plea barely living swelled by its own mockery, is an inhumane barking for the mercy that's born out of nothing more than adapting to the intolerable endured. The enthused by a light rubbing, taciturnity toward a causation that speaks of a stimulus-giving insistment and purulence becomes child-bearing. The population is contagious and sedative to the last of every agent that prevails against ailment. Lacerated and ill is the span of permeation into pygmy, minded and traipse, lateral fulfillment. Intact, like rattles employing no rhythm, the plague is jargon. I fell from the seam aurora borealis weep. My centaurs bleed, guard your earth and her things, they seep for every drop that unravels. You wobble, diseased, I call your cry erroneous. You inchworms of no inertia, ribbit and drool, yelp, welling with yea, quiver puny and scatter like flies among your own putrid pus, banishing in gob your own souls away. in disgust.
All right, this one's called A Night in Life. Brown and proud, standing in a room of people visiting for a first time in a long time, my raza. Black hair flowing like rivers down the backs of my homegirls, not cut short, but something you know you can really get your hands into. Fuck that, you crazy fucker, someone yells in the background while merengues twirl around the room. Yeah, it's nice to be home where I can be myself and not that crazy Latino guy. Brown and proud, my hermana stands in front of me. 3 A's, 2 L's, and 1 C, she says, describing her name. Put them where you want, just say it right. A wisp of mota catches my nose, and in the corner they sit rolling J after J. It never stops, rise and fly, joker, joker, deuce, uptown, downtown, spades, man, spades. I can't take you nowhere, someone yells, and on we go all night, greedy in a room of brown skin, smiles and acceptance. Brown and proud, loving every minute of it. Escape from a white world is possible. Too bad all good things must come to an end. My hermana says, goodbye. And I smile and I nod my head, too stoned to reply. Later, I think to myself, and I melt back into a brown landscape. Woo! This one's called Wanted, two-fisted cholo spray painters apply within. To the cholo cave, they said, and the smell of tacos dissipated as they left. Meanwhile, the two-fisted cholo spray painter, wielding his pistola cans of red and gold, covering bad paint jobs and drawing skulls in honor of the dead, and Our Lady Tonatzin, giver of life and breath, chants. Blessed be Mother Tonatzin, giver of life, Lady of Snakes, Mother of God. Blessed be my little brown ones. Blessed be my children who did not forget, says Mother Tonatzin, whose head of snakes frightened ignorant emissaries of the one true God. Am I not Mexico's mother, asked Tonatzin? And meanwhile, our two-fisted cholo spray painting pistolero covers more bad art hidden on the back of buildings with placas of extraordinary intricacy. I did not forget, she whispers. We did not forget, we shout. The brown that holds us together in a special place, not coffee brown, cinnamon brown, but Chicano brown. Down, Chicano brown, all around Chicano brown, Chicano with an X brown, hardcore cholos chanting, we do not forget, Tonatzin, Lady of Mexicali, giver of life and breath, frightener of those too ignorant to understand her earthly beauty, brown, dark brown, all around brown as far as the mind sees, brown. Bless our children, watch over them, keep them safe, Our Lady. Bless us, made in your image. We see you and laugh with joy, delight, pleasure. Dancing in honor of Tonatzin, the two-fisted cholo spray painting pistolero draws blood on the wall and from the heart. Dancing, laughing, singing. He does not forget, but recreates the face of Tonatzin in the myriads of faces he paints on walls, sheets, and canvases, creating, doing, living. Our two-fisted spray painting pistolero makes love to Tonatzin and recreates himself again, safe in the cholo cave, content with the progress of his aromatherapy and the smell of tacos. My oldest son, Ernesto James, called me the night of George Zimmerman's not guilty verdict, when George Zimmerman's not guilty verdict was read. He was upset, and with tears in his voice, he told me for the first time in his life, he truly felt invisible, that his life as a black Chicano man living in this country meant nothing. I told him that I wished I could tell him that he was wrong, but truthfully, I had no words of comfort to offer. I could only encourage him to become a bigger part of the solution. I pushed him to continue learning, reading, and studying, to recognize this murder and the verdict are about white privilege, not about white skin. that Zimmerman may have pulled the trigger ending Trayvon Martin's life, but he is simply a line of code in a program of oppression that has been attempting to right the lives of Africans, indigenous, and poor whites living in this country for the past 500 years. I told him we are, first and foremost, fighting a system of privilege. Of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't individual enforcers of white privilege. It means that when we target individuals and call for their heads only, and then feel justice has been served, we are missing, as surely as the bloodthirsty click-clacking of Madame Defarge, the most important point of all. Our struggle is a struggle to free humanity from systems of dehumanizing oppression like capitalism. Systems profiting from our bodies and later reducing us to distorted caricatures, signifying the fears and lies conjured to justify social control and our inevitable disposal. These divisions have created and have been given meaning in our social and racial lexicon to codify the rationalizations allowing the commodification of human beings. Capitalism has allowed us to create, maintain, and accept unquestioningly these constructed differentiations in the value of life. This construction of racial differences has created the unimaginable wealth of those who perpetrated this lie and establishes an artificial ordering of the world requiring no explanation beyond the metaphysical description of attributes and qualities possessed by the superior and inferior races. The suggestion that because Zimmerman's mother is from Peru eliminates so-called racial bias on his part is obtuse, partially because the very idea there is a white, black, brown, or yellow race is preposterous. It is pure science fiction, literally. Yet we have repeated this debunked pseudoscience of eugenics in almost every exchange we have. And let me be straight, I'm not trying to preach that I don't see color bullshit. That really is one of the most conflicted races, that really only the most conflicted of races try to sling. No, I am saying that we are all human beings, that on some level we share common goals of life, happiness, or the right to exist, and we are recognized as a species. Those very basic desires exist across the spectrum of humanity. To my own sons and daughters, I have always said that they must rise above the expectations of our society, that they must embrace and plant in their hearts the truth that they are no one's flunky or stereotype, that they are in fact change in body and flesh, and have a responsibility to humanity and their chosen community to rise above the base, banal ideas others have about them. Not to prove something to those who accuse based on their own fears and inadequacies, but as an example of what we can be as human beings when we freely pursue our own destinies, passions, and paths in life. I am not ashamed to say I cried that night on the phone with Ernesto. I'm not ashamed to say when I heard how this man Zimmerman got his skull cracked by young Trayvon Martin, that my heart did not swell with pride at this young boy's bravery, fighting for his life against an unknown armed assailant. Tragically, like the rest of us who struggle against this system of brutality, neither young Trayvon nor most of you who will read this or hear it are the ones with the guns or the authority to use them. Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin in cold blood. However, the law and the state of Florida say he acted legally. Let that be a lesson to you, I told my son. Law does not equal justice. Law equals control. The law serves and protects the power of the state, the power of privilege. Nothing shocking about that. In this quote from Walter Benjamin's critique of violence, Benjamin was a German Jew who died flying the Nazis. Benjamin wrote, "Then it must be readily supposed that where the highest violence, that over life and death, occurs in the legal system, the origins of law jut manifestly and fiercely into existence, for in the exercise of violence over life and death, more than any other act, the law affirms itself." It doesn't matter if Zimmerman acted legally and as a result is innocent, because innocence is a straw man. It confuses the issue. Once we dismiss this informal fallacy, the law protects all equally. It becomes evident the discussion we are having with our sons and daughters about society is deeply flawed and murderously inadequate. To imagine a legal entity whose entire existence is founded on genocide, the enslavement of millions of Africans, and the land theft of indigenous people would or could even create a fair and balanced system of law is naive at best, delusional at worst. The violence of the state serves as a clear and legitimate purpose, according to Benjamin, who wrote, "Once one might perhaps consider the surprising possibility that the law is interested in a monopoly of violence vis-a-vis individuals is explained not by the intention of preserving legal means, but rather by the intention of preserving the law itself. That violence, when not in the hands of the law, threatens it, not by the ends that it may pursue, but by its mere existence outside of the law." A young black child is murdered with premeditation in daylight, minutes from his father's house, and the questions we as a society come up with revolve around legalities? If the above statement by Benjamin is true, then what is the only possible conclusion we can come to about the death of young Trayvon Martin? This is the same murder we have seen countless pictures of, black and Mexican men and women lynched, hanging from trees and bridges. We try to pretend those extrajudicial actions, that they are extrajudicial actions, but the hard truth is that those lynchings upheld the power of the state's right to exist. The hard truth is law was served. I say this because if the perpetrators of those murders were guilty of usurping the right of the state to decide between life and death, they would have themselves felt the violence of the law. If in our society if the law in our society is the final determination of the use of violence, the violence of death, the violence of separation from family, the violence of isolation, then it must be used above reproach. If the state reserves for itself the right to implement these types of violence, then the state must be open to our critique as citizen subjects and unfortunately members of the group who find themselves most often on the receiving end of that violence. If we refuse to even consider limiting the violence of the law, the attempts of the state to preserve itself at all costs, even at the cost of our liberties, then we are getting what we have asked for, and our sons and daughters will answer for our cowardice with their blood. We are not the state. We are non-white, colonized, other subjects of the state. We do not wield the power of the state. The power of the state is wielded upon us. The state exists to serve the whims of the elite and their flunkies, their murderous flunkies. The power of the state was not designed to protect the disenfranchised or those who openly oppose its corrupt power. The reality is those of us on the receiving end of that brutality are unorganized to resist it, uneducated in understanding the system of oppression that controls and manipulates our daily lives. How we choose to respond to the double lynching of Trayvon Martin and the countless of others, daily state-sanctioned executions will mark our generation for years to come. Before I hung up, I told my son that I loved him, to stay close to his family and his children, to make sure that his children understood how much he loves them and how important they are to our future. I thought about all the people flooding into the street as we spoke, hoodies up for young Trayvon Martin. And I kept hearing in my head the lyrics to the Guns of Brixton by The Clash. You can cut us, you can bruise us, but you'll have to answer too. And it made my heart race again.
I want to speak truths in recognition that there are none. I want to save the world in recognition that we are one. I want my wants to simply be needs. I want my words not to be reflections of greed. I want to be freed with the freedom of others. I want us to see how we need each other. How we need our mother. Put your arms around your brother. Open this book. Look past the cover. The falsities, the lies, the oppression disguised. To be something more. Oh, to be wise. To let our hearts be our guides. To let the wind tell our stories. To let our ears hear the cries. Muffled under piles of stuff. Remember when food, water, and love was enough? It's rough, this materialistic lifestyle, suffocating our voices and choices. It's sure been a while. Oppressions in style, controlling our being, guaranteeing there'll be no seeing, no freeing from these systems of dependence. Just buy a new shirt, don't learn how to mend this. And that's a metaphor for a deeper problem. Thinking that through buying our problems will solve them, it's weakness. They teach this, giving us only half the picture in pieces. distracting us so we can't put the puzzle together. Controlling the weather, killing the bees, while most of us sit here watching TVs. Well, what do we need? To simply go outside, to stop trying to hide behind objects and pride, eyes open wide and looking inside, realizing that nothing truly dies. It's only transformation, only humans, no nations, only love, new creations, and if we're patient, this all will change. Together we'll paint a new picture without the old frames. I want to see us learn, I want to see us grow. I want to see us know that to know doesn't mean we have to go along with whatever they say. I'm not a number, I am not a time, I'm not a point on your number line nor a check on the attendance list. Knowledge is not static and neither are we, so try and sell me my education and you will see I believe in creativity, efficacy, cultural complexities, and there is no room in this class for the corporate ass, and this classroom is a moving movement towards nurture, nature, future makers. Your textbooks won't get looks or nooks on this shelf. We're about the self. Earth health and our wealth isn't found in the old metaphor. We close that door. Regurgitation no more. Concentration on your ideas. And the hierarchical tower of power, letting our imaginations grow sour and old in the folds of a fragmented system. I've missed them. The critical ones. Traditional, ritual, habitual peace and peacemakers. The awakers, patriarchy breakers. I want to see us cater to a new paradigm. With mentors, guides, and no more lies. Letting our eyes chase the tides in search of different solutions and contributions, clearing the mental pollution, new words, more curves, learning from the birds. This is a consciousness shift. Do you get my drift? Diversity is personally my favorite color for our mother and our brothers and our sisters and the others. In fact, it's key, you see. For we cannot survive on money or bricks or buildings or tricks, and I'm not willing to be silent. Why have one truth when you can have 100? It's abundant, and maybe this is redundant, but our methodologies are as outdated as the histories we teach and the subtle indoctrination we preach, buried in the shallow validation we seek. When what do we need? Relevancy, clean earth, water and air, community trust, action and care, curiosity and patience. Our children create this. There's no time to be wasted reviving creation. This is transformation. Don't deny yourself a real education.
The river says, take off your clothes, your mask, be one, immersed in life. The place. The river says, fuck it, no way to get lost, always on the river. You'll too pay the cost of the stupidity of others, for we are all connected. This river leading to the ocean. Below the surface, you and I may not be able to see, like the depths of our minds, or the lake, or the sea. The river says, I will take you wherever I flow, hold you, drown you if you let go of your air. Stay full, stay calm, breathe in deeply. Hold on to each breath, feel your chest rise with life, fall with life. The river says there is no time to waste, for time is real and is not. It is simply a flow. Choppy waterfalls crash on the surface and buffer when you blink, like an action shot camera. Our eyes are the lens of the universe. We are all our own gods, for we would not have this life if it weren't for ourselves. Each person adding new perspectives to our shared experience. 6 degrees, separated by 6 degrees, and you say we aren't connected? Drink some tea, and soon you will see the layers of space that lie in front of you as you cut through the atmosphere on Earth. Like a marker on a whiteboard or the stars in the sky, there is no one blanket of light, there is depth, layers upon layers, and we see only the surface. Our third-dimensional minds can barely perceive the fourth dimensions we live in. TVs produce a 2D image, limiting our brains to see nothing. Train yourself to be untrained. See what is there, not what was. See everything and nothing, for we live in dualities, but we can break free. The river says live, the river says go, the river says listen and learn and be free. Give to anything that is thirsty, but don't be afraid to destroy. Erosion is necessary to forge new paths. Rivers are ever changing, taking and giving, calm and vicious, no judgment, just be. I belong on a beach beside a red river whose rapids are strong with white crests, pouring over boulders washed miles downstream from their origin, like me.
I belong under ancient walls of deep red shale, towering in the pale blue sky. The wind roars from every direction, sand swarms my face, river currents move in quick ripples across water's surface. I belong where water touches land, where land touches air, to breathe, drink, and be nourished. I belong with the excitement in the wind. The thoughts of an oncoming storm are both terrifying and humbling. What can you do other than surrender to what is? The earth will have her way with you. We are only tiny ants in the eyes of this planet, smaller even. Still, tiny things have their place, each grain of sand creating a shore. I belong. Float down the overgrown path like a rolling leaf in the wind. Wander wherever the wind blows, but don't expect to stay too long. That restless, ever-blowing breath that quiets once in a while, when the earth is at ease. The moon gently caresses the ocean. Disintegrate into deep brown dirt. Feed life. Settle, my child. One must die to live.
There is so much pain, it's hard to stay entirely sane. But when we open up, there's so much for us to gain. Life's one big risk, we must feel compassion, take out the confusion, and take some action. Because every moment is so dear, even though the future's unclear. There's this feeling inside your chest that you got so much to do, and everyone to prove it to, but only one life to stick it to. Look inside and see that this reality is yours, so grasp it, and steer clear of the fear which fuels all this violence. It's just blindness. Treat everything with kindness. Because in the end, we all join in the same river of life, which is without judgment and strife, so create it now and end all this plight that humanity has made. Despite all the knowledge we've obtained, we're insane to believe this life can be sustained with so much destruction. It just can't function. There's so many ways we can play this game because we're all the same, regardless of religion, gender, and name. Every day we have so many stimuli that meets our eye, and we have to decide what we take from it all. There's so much at stake, but we persevere and motivate to appreciate all this beauty that's around you. It grounds you and keeps you here, so give it the passion it deserves to feel. Even though we are in a deep hole we can climb out, we are not devout haters, but creators through love which comes from energies above. We have the ability to bring it down to earth and share with individuals from birth. We live in the spur of the moment, so own it and affect everything in a positive light with all your might, despite all this anger which is weak and a short sight, into a future that is in need of this new light. We can depend on the wind to fly the kite, but you need someone to hold it and mold it into its most efficient shape. We can't tape up our issues but meet them face to face, come together and live under one single pace. It's a disgrace to see people in their own bubbles, huddled side to side, crying inside because meaningful life has died. We should be yearning for a higher learning, burning all this ignorance, giving love a fleeting chance to take a stance in everyone's existence. With such a short time, it's no crime to give, it's just the way to live. We can affect every entity of life and send out an ocean of emotion which keeps our energies in motion. The blood's pumping, the heart's thumping, and it's all for something. If not, we should still have a hell of a time because before and after happened, and now is what's on my mind. We may be blind to the big picture, but it's such a large mixture with no set fixture. The components floating in and out of space look like experiments rearranged in so many different ways. It's hard to obtain a mental image, but look around this particle, and this, friends, is our chronicle, so whether you like it or not, this is indeed what you've got. So forget everything you've been taught and who you fought, and open up to today, which is the only one you've got.
How do I talk about my caramel skin without sounding like a decadent dessert that white boys drool over? I am not dulce de leche that you can lick your lips to. I am not your after meat and potato dinner's treat. I am not sweet. But you see, if I show any sort of negative response and my eyebrows flare up and I do the pouty thing with my lips, suddenly it's, I get spicy. You think my anger is sexy? You think that years of emotional and physical abuse that is the root of my mistrust in men is sexy? Tell me it's sexy when I get your ass in a roundhouse kick and you're on the floor crying that I'm too spicy for your delicate white palate. You don't know sexy. You don't know my sexy. To be confident in my stride after getting howled and mocked by conservatives with pathetic beards and a beat-up gray Honda Civic, that's my sexy. To stay in school even when there's crippling mental illness whispering words of destruction throughout my day, that's my sexy. To realize that the extra flub in my tummy, thighs, and cheeks is not a sign of failure to conform to Eurocentric ideas of beauty, but of a sign that I know good food, that's my sexy. To feel no regret when I say that my father crossed El Rio Grande twice, worked in fields across the United States, has a nearly 20-year-old car repair business that started off in our garage, and is now a well-respected advocate for immigration rights in Chicago's Mexican community. To feel empathy for my mother, for marrying my cheating, lying, violent, drunk father. To be proud of who I am, who I was, where I've been, where I am, where I'm going, and who I will be. That's my sexy. Don't take it away from me. Don't dehumanize me with your outlandish fetish fantasies. Cada día, Univision me dice quién más ha muerto en la vida. Es una realidad que me causa tristeza, tristeza que me haga sentir como yo no puedo hacer nada. Que esos niños ya no son niños, pero gangueros con pura mala sangre. Que ya no están jugando con sus Yu-Gi-Oh cards, pero con sus pistolas robadas. Que ya no son humanos, pero cuerpos escondidos sobre la calle, muertos o encarcelados. I think that's why I stopped watching Mexican television. Everything seems so dramatic, and I'm stuck in my American daydream that someday everything and everyone will have its happy ending. Pues qué tonta soy. I think that's why, oh wait, no shit. I think the United States romanticizes violence. In film, television, books, only if you're white. Pero cuando tienes el nopal en el frente, you are the cause of all the problems. To Angel, wherever you are. I'm sorry the system failed you. Nadie te ayudó cuando sus clases estaban dificultosos. Nadie te escuchó cuando tenías cortadas en sus brazos. Nadie te dio un abrazo cuando tu abuela se fue al cielo. Did you feel alone? Cuando te metiste en las drogas, con los gangueros, cuando la policía te estaban correteando, cuando hiciste esos balazos. ¿Qué pasó? To Angel, wherever you are. None of this is your fault. I'm sorry the system failed you, pero solo espero que puedas seguir adelante, donde quiera que estés. That's it. Why I lost my Mexican accent isn't a mystery. I didn't lose it, I put it away. Back in first grade when my school put me in the English speaking class. Back when knowing English was more valuable than knowing Spanish. Back when speaking Spanish meant you were slow. And if you can speak, read, and write in English, you're one of the fastest on the block. And you would have races going up and down the street feeding the neighborhood kids, and you would get cocky. I would get cocky. I was the smartest first grader ever. Then the years passed. First grade turned to second grade turned to third grade turned to sixth grade turned to high school. And suddenly, it didn't matter if I was fluent in English, or Spanish, or German, or French, or Swahili. All that mattered was what I did with the language. That I could speak and communicate my ideas freely, that my mind could become unfettered by the intricate laws of grammar, and if I had unanswered thoughts, I can pull them off of my tongue like never-ending fabric coming out of a magician's sleeve. But for the first time in my life, I felt like I was a slow one. The neighborhood kids zoomed right past me, grit kicked up from the sidewalk blinded my eyes, and I became alone with the darkness of my own head. Who was I? Tripping over my own shoelaces, I bent over to realize I forgot how to tie my shoes. Who was I? The clamor of a passing vehicle honking while I stumble clumsily on my feet, the rusty metal from its dismantled bumper scratching the pavement, screeching to a halt seconds before I waltzed onto the street in a daze, pressing my fingers against my temples. Who was I? Flipping through the imaginary files in the back of my head, trying to make sense of the void I found myself in, I stumbled across strange little letters. Ñes and double L's and O's with a speck of eraser dust on top. Ay chingao, pues soy chicana.
años y años negando lo que soy, infatuada con las culturas en que yo no pertenezco, como un camaleón que no sabe sus verdaderos colores. Abro mis ojos y puedo ver un poquito más claro. Y me pregunto yo misma, ¿qué era lo que me dijo mi tío Juan? Cuando estaba sufriendo con la depresión en la secundaria, cuando sentí que yo no era nada, pero un cuerpo ausente, me dijo, oye, Riquía, échale ganas. Y cuando alguien que vino de nada me dice a mí, alguien que tiene todo, que le eche ganas, I'm going to give the world all that I got.
Multivitamins equal balance, equal skill, equal love for all who is, holding up the balance, the perfect equilibrium, filled with entropies, but just enough energies. I marvel at the different color of skins, brown, white, pink, yellow, black, reflecting light from the sun in a different way each time. Because of those little genes that say, I'm colorful. A white man stares longingly at the flashes of deep ebonies and cinnamons. I am the man, he says. The women bow to me and scorn me when I'm bad. I told them I must control them, so I did. The black men welcomed me with open arms, but not because I was bad, but because they knew what it is like to be a man. But when I compare them, I get sickish inside. I have arms that make my skin look unhealthy like paste. And they have such beautiful shades of darks like the velvet of the night sky. Dark like flirtatious, dark like relaxing, dark like wonder. The man says no, it isn't fair. I'm white like the light and as pretty as the ice, as I'm the bringer of hope and the leader of tomorrow, and the dark man is only dirt. And the dark man says, yes, I am, and so are you. We are of the dirt together, we are of the people of mud. I'm the black gold that grows your crops and feeds your children and cures your cough. You are the white gold that shines so bright like the sun. Everybody loves you. They crowd at you at all sides. You are able to trade for anything with your gift of greed. You steal from our land so that you have benefit of being satisfied. You can get whatever you desire, but I see you like my brother, like a man who is scared, who is so self-conscious that he does not everything he can to prove he's good. Enough, I say. But instead of being good, he gets mad. He hates the dirt. He hates the girl who told him he was bad. He gets mad. Then he scapegoats. Then I, the black man, gets mad. Then I, the brown man, gets mad. It must be something to do with the testosterone. That makes a man. He fights to get a girl, he fights to defend himself. He attacks out of fear, he relaxes out of fear, and he dreams of power. I, the color man, see something else. I see how it can be. I see hope and bravery. A heart who defends but is not ashamed. A heart who is proud to exist just as is, without the money and the power and the broken truths, because he does not want to hurt anyone. for lazy people. They say I can do it, so I do it. They say I can make a say, so I say it. Obedience. Both man's greatest weakness and strength. System charged, full speed ahead. Beep, beep. I am in control. I crave power. Like you crave power. Most fear to admit that they crave power, but let me make this clear. It is the most dangerous poison for those who speak celebrity with their drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and money. It is a vulnerability that we all desire, to know that we are all recognized and thus affectionized. So when I say your name, I know who it belongs to. I know it is yours or yours, the sole property you own, your identity, your name is what you hold. Your magic trigger which you bow to, all those lips you dare to mouth, curiously bewildering from the day you were born, representing everything you have, and it is just a word which has power. But the reason I crave power is not just to have a place to yell about, but because I feel a need. I have to have a tiny pocket of space where I can just breathe. Just to be free in my brain, relax is what they say. Aware, focused time, moment pause, that is power. That is power where I can browse the internet, meet new people, hang out with friends. Explore, write, read, draw, sing, dance. What is to be called lazy leisure time? That don't mean to make sense, you see. It's actually a bit of problematic tense. Humans came up with this crazy idea long ago. To make things easy is more time to relate and make it teasy, but then it bores. So instead we make this thing more complex to make more speedy. The birth of paradoxes was this: making things match, making things oppose, bad, evil versus good, good. Conjunctions were then thrown, like deliberating functions, contradicting this, ironic that. Human beings existing and re-existing inside mirrors, reflecting their friends but striving to be unique. I may be honest about this, but that don't mean I don't lie or say stupid stuff, because honestly I do, but that would be a lie if I denied that too. Freedom is the claim in America. Lack of freedom is the complaint in America. What we know is that we all have the right to eat, sleep, pee, talk, shit, do shit, have equality, have responsibility, have love, to love with pure intentions, unity, accordance. For coordination of a community. But what? Then what? What do? We work each day and night, our hearts get addicted. We race a race with no clear finish line or trophy. But for what? Just for that little itty-bitty moment, that special pocket of time, if ever to enjoy, that you call it home, where your job is to relax, and that is power, that is freedom. Leisure is a gift, and I see that is that is what is worth living for, to have and then to be peacefully and in tranquility. Ah.
love me when you're hot? Won't you love me when you're cold? We're not the type of family who talks, but you know I kept my shoes on. Wagon pulling us in a pull, and she's a wagoning us out. Remember rice paper screen walls in a little square room. It was pretty nice, it was pretty nice, it was nice, yeah. Sitting here at the edge of the floor, grandma is changing right there. There's a boy hopping around, feet on the ground, feet on the ground. I've been waiting my whole life to be 4 years old. Won't you love me when I'm hot? Won't you love me when I'm cold? Won't you love me when I'm hot? Won't you love me when I'm cold?
When the world cracks open, dancer, hold it in your hand. Fly solo, soldier, as certain as marching orders, older than wind, rain, promises. Trailblazer, blaze through clouds, trees, bodies, listen at that stump for God or lightning. What am I doing here? Expanding and exposing myself. Who am I? A celebration. I go dancing every Monday.
All right, y'all, we at the show, so we're gonna go like this. Yo, welcome to the show, welcome to the show, and welcome to the show, 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 take the power back, one track at a time, steady on the grind, this is how we shine, combine, 1 part skill, 2 part conscious, 3 boxes drop, my heart, you can't stop this, and then we got this, we on the watch this, it's feeling hot this, we got this, hey yo, the gang, what up? Are you ready for this? Yes, I'm ready for this. BT, yeah. Are you ready for this? Yeah. Well, you just asked this. Party people, are you ready for this? Yeah. Well, you just asked this. Will it be? Is it like this? Alright, y'all. Sound bombing and full effect. So put your hands up. Be sure to go, y'all. Yo, put it in like this. Yo. Like that make moves and measurement to the core. You know the score, encore, always even wanting more. Reborn and transformed by the rhythm. Another thing, man, who's no grin. That's the game plan. Baby and my main man, create, navigating the way for all the important trains. She's a beautifully amazed. Calling snacks the game. Constantly range to the mainstream. Hip hop cannot be tamed. One word implement, two words killing it. Three syllable intricate. Sounding so we do rise. So we put the syndicate. That he always been process of the project. What we project is options. Understand from what way. That's every upgrade. This is how we survive. It works. And it seems saturated by perk. We situated in perk. Hawkeye, we ride. We ride y'all like this. Heart of a lion, blood of a scion. No hitter, hit the banger just like a scion. We right tongue, I said we live young with a sharp tongue. We got that shit one. Heart of a lion, blood of a scion. No hitter, hit the banger just like a scion. We right tongue, I said we live young with a sharp tongue. We got that shit one. Love. Alright, feel like this shit. Like the devil's on a ride, it's funny at first sight. Only the propaganda elevating the very height. By being what I write, the truth of my insight. Wherever you are getting, you have to fight. On the daily life, my target is might. I ignite, spontaneous combustion, instantaneous overproduction. And these professions reminding me why I'm functioning. Looking back to discussions that guided reasons destruction. I'm talking. Get destruction, my fire never extinguished. Like anarchists and leaders, what I do is distinguish my actions. And yes, I really mean it. You can hear it in my English, so I never believe it. Grip my reality, holding my roots. Guiding through the concrete, yo, it's how we choose. What you think is absolute, whenever organizing. Living so complete, like heat, we rising, we thriving. We're driving y'all right like this, yo. Heart of a lion, blood of a scion. No hitter, simply banger, just like a scion. We got tongue, I said we live young, with a sharp tongue, we got that shit one. Heart of a lion, blood of a scion, no bitter, simply banger, just like a scion. We got tongue, I said we live young, with a sharp tongue, we got that shit one. Love. Y'all ready for the third verse? Third verse, right? Here we go, yeah. Hello. It's me again, turn it up, turn it out, feeling freak in the street, CNN, bad news bad, going grizzly for the twist of red. Are you listening? Or just me? No, real in the third degree. Can I get a witness? Get it with that quickness. You're with a radio, and John kind of persistent. If you feel this, then you ought to resist it. Yo, mutual count to Minnesota. We from low Minnesota. We party rock like boulders. And now I told ya, you don't really want it, but there was soda. Trust me, yo, no persona. Got the autograph, Roma. Heart is working out, even though rocking comas. It's work with yo, rolls with the homies. And no space for y'all, put the bigger shit. Yo, heart of a lion, blood of a scion, no hitter, sickly banger, just like a scion. Be tight tongue, I said we live young, with a sharp tongue, we got that shit one. Heart of a lion, blood of a scion, no hitter, sickly banger, just like a scion. Be tight tongue, I said we live young, with a sharp tongue, we got that shit one. Love. Yo, Prescott College. Y'all rockin' with us. Put up your antennas just like this. Yo, and just dance with me. The can you dance with me, dance with me. The can you dance with me, dance with me. The can you dance with me, dance with me. The can you ride with me, ride with me. The can you ride with me, ride with me. The can you ride with me, ride with me. The can you ride with me, ride with me. Make some noise, y'all like that. Yo, so for this next song, in the spirit of what we were discussing earlier, we're going to make any change in our lifetime. We need to make those steps. You know, we make those militant moves. So that means doing what you got to do back home or just taking 1 or 2 steps at the show. You know what I'm saying? We need to make it happen like this. So, y'all might know this sample if y'all like old school hip hop. Yeah. Still with this job, you know what I'm talking about. Check it. Yo, make a militant move, yeah. Yo, make a militant move, yo. Make a militant move, yo. Make a militant move, be my strategy. One more time, yo. Make a militant move, yo, yo. Make a militant move, yo, yo. Make a militant move, be my strategy. Rapper on sabbatical, radical MC. I see it tactical like animal, I was the greatest who I be. But tactical and radical and cozy. And the capital slash capital means the DCC. Taking it international, race against the machine. Keeping it split, flammable like on the top I heat. Light it up like kerosene, it's how I intervene. Tend to practice with me if you see the green. Stay on bomb and bring me the rocket. Yo, my inner compass, I know reluctance or injustice. And hence why I bust this. Don't rhyme my substance. Say what you want is while saying fuck the muffins. I was one window with the earth's circumference. Bringing some abruptness, that would be the toughness. MC roughness, I erupt quick. I tell you disrupt shit. Brick by brick, hit after hit, kiss by kiss, love as a battlefield, coming the man of steel, magnolias, deep rooted, and suited, fully veggies at the beatbox, pencil on the seesaw, seats out to bebop, we swing on axis, hip hop is the practice, knocking out the boxes, make a move, to the swing to groove, beat my strategy, you know what had to be, that red and brown majesty, no amnesty for the gentry, we turn the young King Kong into beyond, ancestors been doing it for eons, we the next generation. Spitting that Klingon, Canada of the apes, I'm back with the defiant demeanor of a young Caesar. Catalyst for the backlash, whether it's fire, there's smoke and ash. From the rubber of the struggle, welcome to Sonic Smash. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Right now, y'all might know this song right here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to get gonna take it back, Carlos Santana style. I want y'all to bust out your air guitar right now. Yeah, here we go, like this, yo, get to the ground, and we doing it now, we be putting it down, with that program sound, we infinity down to the top, keep it ear to the ground, half a pound we hold weight, like a carbon hard case, we taste to your face, give me a promo, we do it for the YOLO, got the city on the low, fuck the popo, yeah, getting free. Sampled by Santana, I'll play Atlanta. Yours is the light, this is why we fight. To be who we are, my personal memoir. I tap into the quasar, I take charge. Pull me to the socket, I unlock it. From the grid of control, we finna flow. This track got me feeling like the wind below. All my people take hold, mind, body, and soul. Lead. Travel with some rubber roots. I cause panic for Hispanics, not a shade. Thinking they got it made. Living like mental slaves. They go to blend in like table stage. Brave and unafraid is how I maintain. But what I really wanna say is, y'all basta. This is for like Rasta. Steady getting that massa. Watch ya as we proceed to continue to give you what you need. Bring it back up. Alright, people look like this. Yo, this is that get up. Hands up. Raw, uncut. Get those hands up. Fuck for the trunk, we expand. What? This is that disrupt. Get those fists up. Erupt on the scene with a list of demands for the man. Johnny don't have the plan. Goddamn, let it rain. We make it rain on the system. Feel our pain. Free your brain. This is wisdom. Last to the system. Yo, alright, feel my indigenous people, y'all. Young, gifted, and red, Messiah ain't dead. We're a modern day warrior with some street cred. Down the hot to the head, I use the mic instead. Defending my people with the rhymes I said. Corny bread, that we on point like an arrowhead. My sharper delivery brings my strength. Similar to what you're gonna go savage with the lead. Bottom with MCs, cops and fucking fed. But me, who I am, go different than Mexican. Round and down, say it loud, boogie down. Native American, yo, my raps can you win? I keep it real like a dude this medicine. Since big rap was cool again, I keep rapping kids cool again. From the red to the curve and everywhere in between. Lessons can't be learned, that was rule supreme. By listening to elders, word is birth. Schooling me, good words indeed. Like a hip-hop quotable, make my dreams quotable. Music notable, we know controllable. If we're not a present, recapturing the essence. Like my adolescence, unstoppable. Another one is possible. Ha! Culture and power is living Geronimo. So I think of the abdominal expand my lungs. The honor my oldest, we do it like the native tongue. Y'all know what that is, Prescott. Put your hands up like this, yo. This is that, get up. Hands up, raw, uncut. Get those hands up. Fuck with the trunk, we expand. What? This is that, disrupt. Get those fists up. Erupt on the scene with the lips up. Demands for the man. Johnny, so that's the plan. Goddamn, let it rain. We make it bang on the system. Feel our pain. Rearrange his wisdom. Let's do the system. Yo, third verse, let's go. Young, get to the hip hop, it don't stop. So backpacking in the spot now, rapping is the plot. The character I got, I'm a melting pot. Conversation, black dog, kept me bowling high. Black stars, no floating me the way now, my cosmic knife. Blasting off the space. Wow, really move and top, let alone pop block, hip hop, elevated, liberated to the top. Yo, higher than helicopters with the cream of the crop, organic beats we chop. I hope you're locally shot. I got the main ingredient, light beat rock, dishing out flavor, so let me marinate while I'm sipping on tectonics. When I piss, I make the plate shit. Music is in my blood like platelets, shining so heavy road, #1 on your playlist. We can't fake this, making both statements. Yo, opposite of underdog, I embrace the analog, brushed up my dialogue, now we're making battle songs, getting it in with that clockwork, like Johnny Jane is heyday. Little shorty's gonna need a hug, cause every day is Mayday. All hands on deck, don't sweat the techniques, protect the peace, ascend the hatred, defend the sacred. Yeah. Man, that's a nice soul clap. Thank you. Yeah. We're all live in it too. Get it. If you're live in full effect, man, I want y'all to repeat after me. Yo, check it. Say I love. Say it hip hop. Say it hip hop. And don't stop. Crash, usher me in with the brass. This is how I honor my past. Hip dash, stop massive. My culture is a tactic that I branded without yield. It's really the field. Yes, I'm armed with that memory. Ancient weaponry, they trying to get the best of me. With an insatiable hunger to be a better me. I'm talking macaroni salad, no celery. You're busy grilling steaks on days off. I'm grilling fashions about these days lost to oblivion. The spirit splinters into shards of obsidian. Let's treat me like Billy in to these artifacts. I tell them stop living fast, ain't no looking back. You are the looking glass, the reflection, the protection, the answer and the question, the release, the show. Hey, yo, I remember way back when I was a youngster, glad at the win. But yo, I remember way back when I was chilling in the back, 4 days on end. But then you came in, hustling, became your only friend. Yo, I remember that rosary tattoo will not cleanse you of your sin. Yo, my rap ain't no condition, just not missing of tradition. Y'all been missing. It's a given, I'm driven, it's in my DNA. To be a person of a rhythm is a goal like a day. My words keep me carry on like my people's song. Indigenous protocol, that's far from y'all. Cause a grandma knew it, ancestors knew it. Mom and pop know it, so now I do it so fluid to this beat, y'all, but don't stop. Like popping it up with grandpa, no, that's real talk. We can't learn it in school, you just got it on rock. Put your body and soul towards whatever you got. Inside that's sacred, and outside the matrix. Nowadays, these modern ways don't make us, they break us. That's why I choose to remember what you thought was lost to keep it hot like ever. I remember being the young one, yo, doing what my grandpa said, yo. I remember, yo, way back when, taking direct action again and again. I remember, yo, way back when the border did not exist, yo. I remember, yo, seeing my relatives. City to the rails, lay it down, there's a legacy to uphold, I can't play around, we germinate on the underground, to permeate the bounds, we are standing on fertile ground, sometimes I need a pound and a heart hug, slip on the brakes and simulate a spark plug, to set the pace on my pacemaker, 6'4", pancake, a flat line, the whole nine, I'm on mine, do it nonchalant, yo, doing what I want to do, it needs to be done, using my native tongue, overdose to overcome, color trap that was I sprung when I was young, remembering where I was from, hearing the Lord's sung words, sucking my language, I can only hum, flipping my supreme, but that's why I didn't succumb to the bottle. I'd rather lean and follow, others like to stay above the hype, remember it's life. Yeah. Thank y'all for the energy, you know what I'm saying? This is so good to get warmed up in here without a jacket. So. For those who were here earlier, you heard the acapella of this. In light of the shit we talked about earlier, this is one of our responses for music. So if you might hear some shit you don't like at the beginning, you probably get mad. That's okay. That's why we're here to let it all out.
Border Patrol has more agents than ever, nearly 22,651 miles of fence, 325 airplanes, and 6 drones patrolling the Mexican frontier, making a successful illegal crossing more difficult than ever.
Alright.
Just because you supposed to serve all shit don't make you pancakes. You know what I'm saying?
It goes like this, check it. We from that, home of the season for that, house of the insurrection, with 1070 means 108 shit, man. No love for brown complexion, silence is acquiescence, when non-violence protects the serve the 1%. We from that land of the man in the maze, with civilization, motorization, got off this rage. Let's take action now, with revolution is what indigenous. RBI's continue with my whole list of offenses. This means war, so I'll see you on the front line. Shots for the one time, it's in my bloodline. Always a rebel, never settle for the setup. Keep your head up and your heart open. Beyond the spectacle, racist tentacles. Well, you know why? Still is bigger than Ohio. Words patrol for economic control. If you wanna stop, yo, recognize the fight is slow-mo. You can bet that, calling me wet back, we'll get your head cracked. So I stay strapped, the knowledge of self, full stealth, all black. I'll say it in all caps, it's the N-O-B-O-R-D-E-R-S. This drill is not for the heartless. I reiterate, no borders. Our watches got a living like sojourners. We land unbranded, scapegoat of the scandalous. Fight back, self-defense is a human right. Despite what the liberals and the fascists say, the path has been laid precinct to precinct. I'm beaten to the south side. Our communities have a militarized. Open your eyes, what we need is a military response, a hood renaissance with a heavy dose of upheaval. And it's time to block conversation. Power concedes nothing without confrontation. We from that ground zero, anti-heroes, saying that shit that you can't say, like snatch borders. Chica la vida, middle finger to la Liberia. We from that desert burrow, we keep it thorough, saying that shit that they can't say, like snatch borders. Chica la vida, middle finger to la Liberia. It's a no man's land, a fight on the southern front till the don't fly past. Reminded what is really up, what the fuck is war? Let it break my heart and gut in the face of law. These were searching to get my trunk at the checkpoint stuck. Fuck the police is what I buck. Same punks, can I buck? They're rather like Ku Klux. Have my people in flux, that don't take so much. We up against the wall, homeland shit put between our rock and a hard place for opposite chase. My ready brown face, he verified my race. Like the West Bank, I'm the power city of a certain. Like the Iron Curtain, divided by East Germany. Speaking in first person, I am the native version of occupation, economic subversion. So I'm going insurgent, all out against borders. They dress like a reporter, opponent, watching reporters, no more. We're from that ground zero, anti-hero, say that shit that they can't say, like snatch borders. Chica la migra, little finger to the Liberia. We from that desert burrow, we keep it thorough, say that shit that they can't say, like snatch borders. Chica la migra, little finger to the Liberia. You know that, let's get to know Prescott. I'm gonna take it back. The oldies but goodies. I like oldies. Y'all like oldies? Yeah. Oh, I think we dumped out our nation. Don't get no better than this. I think we dumped out our nation. Don't get no better than this. Hey, I think we dumped out our nation. Don't get no better than this. I think we dumped out our nation. Don't get no better. What better? I think I found my niche. Making them all flinch, man, this ain't no glitch. Who here? Allow me to introduce myself. It's the L.I.A. to the zone. I stay strong, so get it from my arms where the credit belongs. From these arms to the songs that used to rap along all night long. Grandmaster Flash, run DMC. Sick, I mean, I was like, I was 47 degrees. Fast forward 2 billion years. That was me, providing strategy for my production so lovely. That's when I got my itch and ever since. Inch by inch, I put in work. Give me a pic of what your previous heard. Tip of the iceberg, now coming superb. Ain't no time for second guessing. We got this. In the state of our progression. Oh, I think we done all this. It don't get no better than this. I think we done all this. It don't get no better than this. Hey, I think we done all this. It don't get no better than this. I think we done all this. It don't get no better. What? Better, I think I done found my itch. Speaking of which, this is it. Now we all in the mix, and it don't get no better. Cause the mo better makes the mo better. Representing that first and 26 letter. The version of setter, so sick, so juicy. Feeling so unruly with my fiduciary duties. Talking the truth, please. Who, me? Then can I date? What else can I say? The music is so living, you can't fight the feeling. That's a reason for the still. Aha, top feeling too feeling. They're forever drilling, spilling, and killing. What is the recourse? What is the detour? What are we here for? If not to progress the report with Mama, beginning me then holla. Oh, I think we done this. It don't get no better than this. I think we done this. It don't get no better than this. Hey, I think we done this. It don't get no better than this. I think we done this. It don't get no better. What? Better. Thank y'all for rocking with us. The Bronx candidate. We are Sean and Soap. Support. Thank y'all.